I want to open this by saying that this was not the video I expected to be delivering after my prolonged absence from YouTube. For a long time, I expected that I'd be dropping this massive trailer out of nowhere that would be announcing a whole season's worth of videos for classic series like RTGs and Top 8s. Now, before anybody panics, I still want to do that. Someday I will, don't get me wrong. But the problem is, I've been wanting to do that for the better part of 2 years now. And knowing what I know now, if I don't make some serious changes in my approach to all this, it's never going to happen, period. Does anyone out there know who Warren Buffett is? If not, here's the Cliff Notes. He's basically one of the richest men in the world. Not because he's a tech giant or invented an essential service like computers or a prolific shopping website or something, but just because he is supernaturally good at spotting solid investments. A somewhat famous story about him relates to his personal pilot. The guy was loyal for years, so Warren decided to do what he could to help this man achieve his dreams. He had the guy write up a list of the 25 things he wanted to accomplish, no matter how small, so long as they were important to him, and rank them in order of how much he wanted them done. When the pilot returned the list to him, Warren circled the top 5 and told him that if he wanted to see any of them accomplished in any kind of timely manner, to focus exclusively on those 5 and ignore all the others. This is now commonly known as the 25-5 rule. The point of the exercise is to help you realize what's truly important to you in life, to help you achieve it as quickly as possible so that you can move on to new and better things. I did this not too long ago, and when I stopped, took a big step back from my own life and looked at everything objectively, a lot of things became clear. I have learned a great deal about myself from my own personal top 5, and so you understand what I mean, here it is. The first 3 are pretty self-explanatory. Get my own place, for starters. The second is to take better care of myself, to get into a good self-care routine that shows noticeable differences, to work out, eat better, and finally see a doctor about these damn cluster headaches I've been consistently getting every other day for the past 3 months. The third is to get my monthly royalty payments on audiobooks up to a level where they are consistently paying for my rent, $600 or somewhere in that range. The next was for me to finish a book I've been writing, on and off for the past year. Why? Because my whole life, I've had countless ideas that never became anything. Time and again, I've watched creative endeavor after creative endeavor stew in the background because I never had the time to put it to paper. I need this. Outside of RTG's 25, I've never finished anything. I need to prove to myself that I'm capable of seeing something through to the end. And this book is the one thing in my list that has the greatest chance of seeing the end of that tunnel with the resources I have right now. Plus, that would feed right back into the royalty payments goal because I could just do my own freaking audiobook. Before anyone asks, yes, I will be making an announcement when that book is available to buy. And, no promises, but I'll try to make it at least a little more palatable than some other YouTube literature out there. And that just leaves goal number 5, which is personal. I'm sorry, guys, but this is not something I want to go public with right now. It might be something I never go public with at all, but it's also a key part of my own happiness that I need to start giving the attention it deserves, so no time like the present. Now, you may have noticed a couple of things missing from that list. Things like YouTube, Twitch, and that video game I started working on a while back. But see, that's just it. Those are all things that have languished and suffered for the fact that my life is not together enough to support hobbies like that on the level they'd need in order to flourish. And let's be real about this, they are hobbies. The internet is not my primary source of income, nor can it become so in a manner timely enough to support me. And part of that is on the platforms themselves. Remember Copa? The adpocalypse? Remember all the copyright problems this website is still wrestling with to this very day? A career on YouTube is a Jenga tower with several pieces missing. YouTube itself will never go anywhere, but the reason you get so many people saying it could be the end of the site every time something like this happens is because creators are so used to constantly living in fear that their livelihood could be ripped out from underneath them at any given moment for absolutely no reason that it seems entirely plausible to them. And don't even get me started on Twitch. They have a long and storied history of playing favorites and selectively enforcing their rules. So unless you're in that special circle of theirs, a streaming career has just as much stability, if not less, than YouTube itself. I'm tired. I am so incredibly tired with this nonsense, and I haven't even been on the receiving end of it yet. A prolonged break from the internet is going to do me worlds of good. And beyond that, when it comes to making this online personality thing work, try as I might, I am not Donkey. I'm not Did You Know Gaming. Hell, I'm not even Strider 7X or Game Champ 3000. And there's a reason for that. Remember 8-Beat? That one-off series about video game music that never got another video? Guess what channel started getting popular soon after that? 8-Bit Music Theory. I had an idea a few years back for a series called Project Exhibition, where I showcased super moves in games and rated them on a scale from 1 to 10. I shelved that idea because I never found the time, and guess what Maximilian Dude started doing soon after? Rate the Super. If I managed to get life together enough to pursue any of those ideas to their fullest, who knows where we'd be right now? Maybe I'd be the one with 500,000 subscribers and a big fancy check mark next to my username. Instead, everything I do dies with a whimper because I'm trying to wear entirely too many hats. My online platforms keep yo-yoing between periods of activity and inactivity because what used to happen is that I'd get just a little bit ahead and milk it for all it was worth until reality caught back up with me again. What's essentially happening is that I'm trying to build a skyscraper on sand. I don't have a solid foundation to work from. I don't have the stability I need in order to do something like YouTube and Twitch full time. If you get kind of frustrated whenever things slow down around here, don't worry. The feeling is infinitely worse for me. Anytime things would inevitably fall behind again due to the realities of needing to make your own way in the world, I'd get into a huge depressive slump over what I thought was a lack of personal motivation or technical ability. My vision of myself degraded for years because whenever something went wrong, I'd look inward for people to blame, but not in a healthy or productive way. Christ, looking back on it in hindsight, it's a wonder I never noticed the cycle until now. It's taken me several years to recognize my own horrible, self-destructive patterns that have led to the state everything is in now. And thankfully, I'm old enough, mature enough, and wise enough To both admit my real failings and be willing to do something about them. It's really hard to basically confirm that I'm walking away from the internet completely for an indeterminate amount of time. Because part of me wants to keep that hope alive. Part of me wants to believe that everything will just work out if I try hard enough. And they will. Just not the way I was trying to do it. If it's any consolation, know that I'm throwing myself heart and soul into my other endeavors now. Because now, I've got a handful of amazing people waiting on me to make that comeback. I will come back. And when I do, I'll be a healthier, happier, and much better person. Until then, I'm What the Fnu. And thank you all so much for the memories. In the words of Castlevania's credits, you were the greatest player in this story. Later, everybody.